What's going on, guys, and welcome back to F1 23 for Season 4 pre-season. Season 3 is all done and dusted. It wasn't quite the season we were hoping for, only finishing 4th in the standings, but the next season is now upon us as we try to adapt as many parts as we can going into Season 4. There is a regulation change to chassis and powertrain, so we're just doing as much as we can. We're not going to be able to adapt anywhere near anything, but hopefully we won't fall well, at all down the order, but you know, just hopefully not a lot, if anything, because you know, all the other teams will have the same thing going on. You know, they'll have to adapt parts as well. So there's a few parts we're able to adapt there, but not a whole lot. Putting on a couple of things there. And now for my contract renewal, of course, Fernando Alonso has retired at the end of the season, so we have to look for a new teammate. Now, these are some of the drivers I was looking at potentially getting for this season. Alexander Albon was a big shout. He's doing wonderful things in that Williams, and I definitely think he deserves a step up. Oscar Piastri also has been performing very well in that McLaren, and I was thinking maybe he would be an option as well for my team in Season 4. The same goes for his teammate Lando Norris, who's absolutely smashing it out of the park. A couple of race wins last season in that McLaren, but I'm excited to see what he can do in that better McLaren, so I don't really want to take him yet. Same sort of goes for Charles Leclerc. You know, he won the championship in Season 1. He was fighting for it in Season 4 as well, and he was an option, but in the end, I've actually ended up going for Alexander Albon because I really think he deserves a step up from that Williams. He's been scoring great points over the last few seasons in that car, which in a lot of ways doesn't really deserve to score points. So we're going to see if we can take Albon from Williams. The bidding starts, and Williams put the first bid in. We're going to go straight to a large bid because we've got plenty of money to play with at the moment. And it actually doesn't take long at all. Only one bid placed by myself, and we managed to secure Alexander Albon for our team for Season 4. So he is our new driver. I'm very excited to see what Albon can do in our car in Season 4, providing our car is still a competitive car, and I'm hoping that is going to be the case. And actually we're able to adapt one more part before we finish off the season, and now we get into the calendar. So in Season 4 we will be starting in Bahrain once again. I love Bahrain, really like driving there, so we will be racing there again. Then Australia for round 2. We're skipping Saudi this time around, and then we're going to go round 3 to back to Miami again. Haven't been there for a couple of seasons, so back into Miami. Same goes for Imola. Haven't raced there since Season 2 or something. Then we're going to Spain because that actually had a pretty good race last time out. Canada because we missed it last season. Back to Great Britain and Silverstone because I love that track. Hungary, haven't been there since I believe Season 2. Same goes for Belgium for a sprint weekend, and then the Netherlands, the Dutch Grand Prix, going then to Monza, so both Italian races on the calendar this season, then to Japan, back to Qatar again for another sprint race, then we go to Mexico, which we haven't been to since Season 1, and then to Brazil for our final sprint of the season for round 15, and then we'll once again finish the season in Las Vegas like we did in Season 1. So once again, we're going for 3 sprint races. I think that's probably what we're going to continue doing for the rest of these career modes, because that's a good amount. It's half of the sprint races, and I think that works pretty well. As for our main sponsor, we're actually going for DSB Optics, which I believe is to finish 3rd or better in the Constructors, so definitely going to try for that. Money's not really an issue at the moment, but we're going to try for that anyway. And then Mercedes engines, because those are the best engines on the grid at the moment. And this is the car we'll be running for Season 4. We've gone back to the black, green and orange look, and I really like this livery. I think it's a very cool looking design. Of course, the base game, which I have, I don't have mods or anything because I'm playing F1 23 on PS5, so I just kind of have to go with the standard liveries in the game, and this was definitely the best one. There was 2 options that I had for going into this season, but this was the one I decided to choose, and the orange and the green with the black. I think this just looks really cool. It's possibly my favorite so far. I mean, I try and improve every season for a better livery, of course, and I think this time I've definitely done it quite a bit more orange and green on the car than, you know, previously when we had the black, the more black livery. So this one does definitely pop a little bit more, so I'm excited to see what this one has in store for us. And this is just a look at our outfits as well. Now, I did actually change the orange and the black. I flipped them around because I prefer the look of it with the orange where the black is and the black where the orange is. So you'll see that in a moment, slightly different to what it looks like here. Not the biggest fan of the overalls, I'm going to be honest. There wasn't many options for overalls. Really haven't unlocked that many. many, and none of them look that amazing. So that is one thing that's a little bit unfortunate, but you don't see them that often anyway. Looking at R&D though, after the R&D change, Aston Martin are actually the team that have come out the best here. They are fairly considerably the quickest car in R&D. Then it is still the big cluster of myself, Williams, Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari all clustered there together, and we are now closer to sorry, I think I said Williams there, but Williams are a little bit further back, but it is now once again a little bit closer with the R&D, so that should be exciting. And then looking at the driver lineup, unfortunately not a lot of changes here at all. Ferrari, the constructors champions from season 3, retained Leclerc and Tsunoda. They had a pretty good season actually, winning the constructors of course, but just missing out on the drivers. McLaren also had a very good season, Piastri getting his first maiden Grand Prix win and Norris getting 2 wins as well, meant that McLaren only just finished second in the constructors. It was very close between them and Ferrari at the top, but they just came out second place. We were then third. This is the new look of our car, and as you can see, the overalls, I've swapped the orange and the black. I think I prefer that a little bit. Like I said, I'm still not the biggest fan, but the choice of overalls just isn't that good in my opinion from what I have. But we're alongside Alex Albon, of course, so very excited to see what he can do. Then Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton does continue on after teasing retirement at the end of season 2. He is still going into season 4 here, so he's just won the championship. He's won his 8th world championship in season 3, and he continues on for season 4 alongside Nick de Vries, who I'm surprised is actually still in that team. Same goes for Red Bull as well, Verstappen and Sainz. Pretty good season. I mean, well, in comparison to what they've been the last 2 seasons, Red Bull had a better season, but they're still not at the highs they wanted to be. Sainz doing a very good job, especially in the latter half of the season. Aston Martin also stays the same, Russell and Iwasa, and very interested to see what these guys can do, especially at the start of the season, being fairly comfortably the quickest car on R&D. So might we see Russell get another race win? Will Iwasa get his first podium as well? We'll see how that goes after a fairly disappointing season 3. Williams is the only other change other than my team. Logan Sargent now leads that team, and alongside him is Felipe Drugovich, because we've taken Alexander Albon and Drugovich has replaced him at Williams, so that's the only driver change other than Albon to my team this season, which is pretty disappointing. I do like seeing the driver changes. As goes for Alpine, another just a bad season for them in season 3. Gasly and Ocon once again, I think they only scored 4 points in season 3, and their car is actually the bottom of R&D at the moment going into season 4, so they need to do a lot of work. Haas, I mean, it wasn't a great season, but they did at least score 2 points this season with Liam Lawson, who I guess is now the team leader of this team, alongside him with Jack Doohan. Yeah, Haas really kind of nowhere, but they were very lucky to at least score a couple of points after no points scored in season 2. Similar story for Alfa Romeo. They managed to score 1 single point in season 3 with Valtteri Bottas, but apart from that, it was a completely fruitless season. They were just absolutely nowhere, didn't have any pace, and I mean, yeah, it was kind of mainly because, you know, the top 6 teams were way ahead of the bottom 5, but that's what it was. But it was definitely the worst season for AlphaTauri, who were last, 0 points for the team, and yeah, very disappointing by both drivers, but the car was absolutely nowhere. And going into season 4, they're not really looking any better. I think they are ahead of Alpine on R&D, but that's about it. But maybe they can do something this season with, you know, at the moment being closer to that top group. Everybody is definitely a lot closer going into season 4, so maybe we will see some of those bottom teams at least scraping and trying to get some points, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe. Happy New Year, because this episode is coming out right at the end of 2023, and we will continue with F1 23 Season 4 in 2024. I'll see you guys in the next video.